Hello, we are Carlos and Susana, and we would like to do our final project about the influence of manga and anime in society and its impact in tourism and economy. To start, we are going to explain the definition of manga and anime. Manga is known for being a Japanese comic whose beginnings date back to ancient times with the use of painting. This tradition was influenced by Chinese art due to the use of brushes and woodcuts. This costume gained greater popularity during the Edo period, mainly due to the schools that were created. Its literal meaning is informal drawing. To move on, anime is written in katakana, coming from the French word animation. It is used to refer to animation. In other words, it is the live animated mesh of multiple drawings that seem to move. But the Japanese style is characterized by its values, representation of the country's life, costumes, and culture, as well as technical characteristics such as the eyes and expressiveness of the shot, the mixture and the history and fiction, a multiple of themes, etc. To continue, we are going to explain the historical context. Manga began to become more specialized during the 20s and 30s. At first, it was aimed at children, Kodomo manga, and had a great impact on society, both inside and outside Japan. At the same time, new genres of manga appeared, inspired by American comics. An example could be the manga Ogon Bat from 1930, which was created by Ichiro Suzaki and Takeo Nagamatsu, who created the first Japanese superhero. However, the manga genre developed more from 1945 onwards, after the end of the Second World War, since it was an industry that was responsible for covering the psychological needs of that depressed society. Therefore, despite the fact that the economic conditions of the time were not the best, more money was invested in this production, with the needs of the citizens in mind. It is worth highlighting the figure of Osamu Tezuka, known as the father of modern manga. Initially, he focused on children's ability and observation, so he took care of the visual aspect for a better understanding of children. After his success, he decided to take the step to the creation of anime, with the production of the first animated series with 30-minute chapters. It was an adaptation of his masterpiece Tetsuwan Atomu, Astro Boy. After the success of this series, this audiovisual format was established as the standard for anime until today. Therefore, we can say that Tezuka created and formalized the basis of the visual language both in manga and anime. The changes that anime experienced from the 60s onwards is more of an industrial evolution than an artistic one. This is mainly due to the great economic growth that Japan experienced at that time, which made it become the second world power. The consumption of anime and manga increased so much that it made it occupy almost the entire entertainment market. Due to this increase in consumption, a great competition is generated within the sector, which gives rise to new strategies. The usual size of the magazines was changed to the current format, A5. At the same time, the stories began to have less text and the illustrations became more expressive. In turn, due to the excess demand, the editorial guidelines changed to weekly publications, so production increased considerably. At the end of the 70s, Teiji Hayashi carried out as statistical studies showing that manga represents more than 25% of all printed materials in the country, which demonstrates its great success in society. During the 80s and 90s, manga and anime grew in an exorbitant manner, creating a great variety of genres and styles that are difficult to classify, but all of them maintaining the narrative and aesthetic basis initially formed. Due to its great growth and its greater demand at an international level, during this period both manga and anime began to be exported, so they began to be translated into several languages. During the 90s, due to the technological growth, manga and anime began to be assumed as a part of other cultures. To conclude, we consider that manga and anime refer to a visual language easily recognizable by its aesthetics and which is easily understood and whose purpose has always been social good. To move on, we are going to talk about the expansion of Japanese culture as a necessity for economic development. In the economic aspect, after the end of the Second World War, Japan focused on recovering the economy based on a capitalist system. From the 1970s, Japan used the process of Japanization as a marketing strategy. with the aim of increasing the demand for Japanese products in the form of cultural goods, such as soap, operas, anime, and manga. Thanks to this, Japan not only increased the level of relations with other countries, but also became one of the strongest economic powers. Um, Now I'm going to explain the strategic plan for Cool Japan economic development. From the year 2000, the Japanese government had to work very hard to find a strategy that will make possible the recovery of the original economic problems due to the decreasing population. In 2006, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs proposed the development of the creative industry in terms of the production of manga and anime as cultural goods in order to increase both domestic and international consumption. In 2011, Japan announced the creation of a new policy, Cool Japan, but it did not become a formal policy until late 2012. The ultimate goal of this strategy is to produce goods that reflect Japan. Therefore, the purpose of this project was not only monetary, but also consisted of the assimilation of Japanese culture by citizens of other countries through the Japanese creative industry. Japanization can be achieved through three steps. The first one is by developing goods and services that can reflect Japanese culture and that are easily exportable. That is, that in addition to showing Japanese culture, can make a difference with respect to other goods and services originating from other countries. The second one is by stimulating Japanese culture through the Japanese Boom Overseas project, which consisted of retransmitting Japanese culture through various media, both within and outside the country. In many cases, this was done through local radio and television. And the last one is by expanding the business to the destination country. Cooperation was established with retailers and distributors abroad to be able to distribute the products.
This increase and strengthening of diplomatic relations in the second half of the 20th century with countries around the world has helped promote investment by Japan in foreign markets and industries, and vice versa. At the same time, through this economic exchange, there was a cultural background. Anime and manga became not only means of entertainment but also strong export goods that ensure Japan significant economic profits every year. One benefit that both manga and anime have in being so popular and causing such a sensation that it makes thousands of people curious to come to Japan is that it is not aimed exclusively at a specific group of the population, leaving the rest out of its consumption. Rather, very diverse manga and anime are created that reach the whole world and a multitude of groups. Thus, there are products based on gender, sexual orientation, age, socioeconomic level, studies, etc. Another example is that consuming these products makes you see what the Japanese lifestyle is like, its values, traditions, gastronomy, history, etc., making people more interested in seeing that country that they only know from the series and comics that are produced there. It also encourages them to consume Japanese products that are displayed in this form of entertainment, that is food, books, games, clothes, etc. Some example of this popularity of manga and anime overseas is the case of Mexico and Thailand. Japan, seeing the popularity that its country is having among the Japanese and especially the foreign world through manga and anime, has decided to promote tourism through several aspects. Since only in the year 2002, both industries surpassed iron exploitation and agriculture by 4 times, apart from the positive image that it gives to the outside world of its country. One of them is obviously the legal facilities to be able to enter Japan. This is the case of Thailand. Throughout the centuries, there have always been strong connections with this other Asian country due to proximity, trades, and religion. Now, anime and manga, food, and sports also play a fundamental role as well, strengthening both economies. In 2014, Japan decided to eliminate visa restrictions for Thai tourists, increasing tourism by 50% by 2016, making Japan in 2019 Thailand's second ally in the commercial world. Or that in Mexico, another country with many influential Japanese immigrants, scholarships, schools, cultural centers, and the opening of more embassies have been promoted to increase contact and tourism between the two countries. In Japan, both the central government and at the regional and local level have promoted consumption centers related to anime and manga, such as shops, cafes, exhibitions, museums, parks, and recreational attractions, video games, concerts, drawing workshops, crafts, and production of figures, keychains, or other souvenirs, etc. This diversifies the benefits from this industry, as well as the promotion of employment and creativity in many cities throughout the country, helping to recover certain areas that might not be as touristy without the support of anime and manga. Since local people seeing this interest take part and promote even more the arrival of tourists to economically grow their city, and even more important, to revalue the cultural and intangible heritage that exists in the area or in the country in general. Places like the tram in Kamakura, represented in the opening of the Slam Dunk anime, is a good example of this. How a place with a rich history as the center of government of the Bakufu for 200 years, and with a rich artistic and monumental heritage like its Buddha, has become at the same time a destination for tourists who want to feel the place where their favorite anime character is and lives. Furthermore, not only are tourists coming to Japan for a short period of time to consume and visit places related to anime and manga, as well as those related to Japanese history and tradition also exposed in this visual media, but also many young people decide to come to Japan to study and or work. This promotes economic and demographic growth after the incredible decline in birth rates in recent decades. Another benefit is the cultural exchange with people from all over the world, allowing Japanese society to discover and experience new values and different customs. These values can be love, friendship, cooperation, honesty, transparency, or respect, which in anime such as Totoro, Spirited Away, or Inazuma 11 represent universal values and focus on prosperity and world peace. Japan wants to show its interest as a mediator and participant in a more just world, as well as other deep-rooted feelings among the Japanese, which are karma, superstition, the negative and positive force that exists in society, and the university and their struggle.
As a conclusion, we would like to show a video of Akihabara, the most famous place with manga and anime content, and an interview that we had made to two students, a Japanese and foreign one, to see their different point of view.
We came to Akihabara to show you the most well-known city about the manga and anime stuff, and where a lot of manga and anime consumers come to buy a lot of stuff, since this is the most famous place. And to continue, we are going to show you the example of a manga and anime store.
We are in one of the many stores here in Akihabara where we can find a lot of manga and anime products such as figures, which is on a high demand by tourists here. And also we can find other products like DVDs or CDs or stickers. Hello, I'm gonna ask two questions to a foreign student, a Spanish one, and a Japanese one, Miyuki. About the consumption of manga and anime. The first question is, do you think that the reason why many foreign students come here to Japan to study manga and anime? What do you think?
For me, anime has been an influence all around the world because a lot of foreign students came to Japan just to watch anime. Like because anime is more
I'm not agree with
I must agree because I think in the world nowadays people has an image of Japan about everything is like manga and anime. People like this stuff also interested in Japanese culture. Yeah, I'm kind of agree of her point of view.
And the second question is, when you consume manga and anime, what necessities do you satisfy or not satisfy that consumption of manga and anime? What do you feel? Watching anime and manga?
I think it's just part of us because when I was still in my childhood days, even if we don't like ampang and it's based on that. is anime, so we usually run television. As children usually watch it. It became influenced to those anime. Yeah.
And you, well, for me, like, I used to watch more anime before, but nowadays
I still have
I
interest,
still have interest, but not as that as I had before. And well, my
necessities
necessities maybe is to keep my mind distracted.
And also, for
example, I really like Kimetsu no Yaiba because
the colors,
the colors, the storytelling, and also the music. So yes, I like to enjoy this kind of art, to say something.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is the bibliography that we have used for the project.
And thank you so much for your attention. We hope you like it.